Hey everybody, happy Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. This is our work for Monday, September 14th, 2020. And for today, we will use specific text evidence to reach and express reasonable conclusions about an author's intent and a text's meaning. I will read and focus on finding text evidence to support my claim. And then our close is what stood out in what we read to you. And today we're going to do some good reading from a book called Mexican White Boy. It's an excerpt. And for those of us that are Hispanic, we're really going to enjoy it. For everybody else, even if you don't really know Spanish, you grew up in San Antonio, so you're going to have a good time with it. But let's go ahead and do our affirmations, because being positive on purpose makes a difference. So say it with me. What are you? I am smart, confident, and successful. And how do you feel about reading? I love reading. It's so much fun. And how do you feel about getting your work done? It's so cool. I love getting my work done. All right, thank you very much. So for today, well, first of all, I want to remind us, if you're missing any of your work, I have made it easier for you to find it. So if you go into the first week, the day's work that has a graded assignment will actually show up. So you can click on that. This was our first assignment. Tell about a time when. That was after reading the Polar Bear attack. The time when you got hurt or almost got hurt. That's our first assignment. And then we have 3 different assignments in the week of 831. That's the big one. There's assignment 2 and 3, having to do with first impressions, where the girl goes to school for the first time and her teacher's wearing the same dress. So there's a graded discussion. How do you handle meeting new people, going to new situations? You got to answer that to get credit. And then the short answer. And if you click on that, there's 2 short answers to fill out. That's our 2nd and 3rd grades. And then week of 831, there's also our test grade. That's when we started writing our essay. The name of it has been changed from just rough draft to rough draft to finished draft America essay writing. So if you click in there, you can write your essay there. If you haven't finished it, you can get it finished. Parts of an essay reference guide is in there. Once you're done with that, assuming that you're running late, you can click into Thursday's work, and there's our essay revisions. Click on that, go through it one at a time, and get that turned in, and you will be all set for the test grade. Last week, we only had 1 graded thing, and that was that graded assignment 4. Add a simile or metaphor to your essay. So if you already did your essay, you can just copy and paste a simile or metaphor that you used into this. If you haven't done it yet, hey, get it finished. Add some figurative language and copy and paste it in here so you get a grade on this. But let's get to what we're doing today. I'm so glad you're here. 9:14, Monday's work. And we're doing a reading from Mexican White Boy by Matt de la Peña. So in your own Schoology, if you click on it, you'll find it like this. And I want you to open it up on your own screen and read along with me as I read the first half of it or so out loud. Just be sure you're reading on your own screen, because this video is going to end halfway through and you're going to be stuck. So we'll pause for a minute, or just hit pause on your screen of this video, open up reading from Mexican White Boy, and read along with my voice. Remember, when we're reading, we're going to imagine what we're reading like it's happening to us and we're right there. We're going to create a movie screen in our minds and then act it out. So have fun reading along with me, and then I'm going to get to about halfway down page 3, and you read the rest on your own. Before I do that, though, let's look at what we have to do. This is our graded discussion question from Mexican White Boy. Write a paragraph explaining how de la Peña uses specific details throughout the narrative to make his writing come alive. So what do they mean by use specific details to make his writing come alive? Well, you're going to find out he does give lots of details about the people in there. And then it's just for you to decide, just like every other short answer we've done before. How does it make you feel when he says coming alive? What's it doing? How's he doing it? So you kind of have to decide for yourself. It also says provide 2 examples. So When we're writing our short answers, remember to use the key words to answer the question. And I've given you sentence starters. De La Pena uses specific details to make his writing come alive by, and you tell us what you think those details are doing, just like we've done before. What do you think it's accomplishing? How is it being accomplished? Just tell what you think. Then explain what's going on in the story. Danny, that's the main character, is visiting with his cousin, and tell us what happens. And then 2 quotes, 2 examples. So quote 1 and explain, and then quote 2 and explain. This is kind of a big question, but it's important that we practice this because this is going to be a very similar question on our summative short answer questions in reading. So keep in mind, this is practice for basically a test coming up in a couple of days. So be sure and do your best. But guess what? It's probably not going to be perfect. Remember, you are smart, confident, and successful. You're going to do just fine if you put in the work. All right, so once again, open up Mexican White Boy and read along while I read. From Mexican White Boy by Matt de la Pena, Danny lands in National City. 1. Dressed in a well-worn Billabong tee, camo cargo shorts, and a pair of old-school slip-on Vans, Danny Lopez follows his favorite cousin, Sophia, as she rolls up on the cul-de-sac crowd with OG swagger. A bunch of heads call out to her, "Hey, Sophie! Yo, girl! There she is!" and wave. Sophia waves back, pulls Danny by the arm toward the group of girls sitting on a blanket in an uneven semicircle. "Oye, putas," she says. "Yo, this is my cousin Danny I was telling you about. He's going to be staying with me for the summer." She smiles big proud, Danny thinks. "Yo, cuz, these are my girls." She points them out and rattles off names. Carmen, Raquel, Angela, B, Juanita, Flaca, and Gita. "Hey," the girls sing-song in unison. Danny nods with a shy smile, aims his eyes at the asphalt. He feels the heat of their stares, and for a second he wishes he could morph into one of the ants zigzagging in and out of tiny crevices in the street. Their little lives, he thinks, totally off the radar. Danny's 16, a shade over 6 foot, and only a year younger than Sophia. But unless he's on a pitching mound, he feels like a boy. He's long and thin, with skinny arms hanging down skinny thighs. His arm length the reason he can fire a fastball so hard. His shoulders are wide, but his muscles have yet to catch up. Sometimes when he sees himself in the mirror, it looks like his shirt is propped up by an upside-down coat hanger. Not a human body. Doesn't even look real. And Danny's brown, half Mexican brown, a shade darker than all the white kids at his private high school, Leucadia Prep. Up there, Mexican people do under-the-table yard work and hide out in the hills because they're in San Diego illegally. Only other people on Leucadia's campus who share his shade are the lunch line ladies, the gardeners, the custodians. But whenever Danny comes down here to National City, where his dad grew up, where all his aunts and uncles and cousins still live, he feels pale, a full shade lighter, albino almost, less than. "And just so you know," Sophia adds, "Danny ain't no big talker, all right? He's smart, mad smart, gets nothing but A's at the best private school in San Diego, but don't get your chones in a bunch if you can't never pull him into a convo." Sophia looks prettier than Danny remembers, less of a tomboy. Her hair long now, makeup around her eyes. Carmen clears her throat and says, "You don't need to talk to give me no deep tissue massage." She gives Danny an exaggerated wink. "Ain't need no words for us to soak in a nice jacuzzi bath together," Flaca says. She reaches out, put her hand on one of Danny's Vans. "We can just sit there, papi, backs against the deck thingies, taking turns sipping a little white zin and stuff. How's that sound, beautiful?" Danny gives her a polite smile, but inside he's shrinking. He's trying to suck back into his shell like a poked and prodded snail. All right, so we are right past the middle of the 3rd page. Continue reading on, and then read on about the book and what the book is all about, because this is one of the books we're going to have available to us. And later on in the school year, we'll be able to choose books to read. This is one of your choices. So I hope you find it interesting. So let's get back to the writing. And yes, there is bonus extra credit. If you read on, you will find out what the novel is really about. So add it to the top of your first answer. I'll give you an extra 10 points for that. Remember, you can use the sentence starters, just copy and paste them in, and then finish with your own thoughts. And remember, it is your opinion. There is no right answer. So just do your best, and you're going to do just fine. Follow the instructions, help yourself. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question, message me. I will message you back as soon as I can. And other than that, I hope you have a great evening. Take care. Bye-bye.